Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. This is today's second video upload. Yes, I am spoiling you today. Today we're taking a look at Battle on Malinovka. This was sent in by Friderik, and he is playing the FV201 A45 British Tier 7 Premium Heavy Tank. Why is this a heavy tank? Kind of looks like a Centurion. Then again, it looks a lot like the Carnarvon as well, and that is a heavy tank. Well, the thing about the A45 was that it was Britain's first attempt to develop something that would be known as a universal tank, although it would later go on to be known as main battle tanks. Instead of heavy tanks and medium tanks, or to adopt the British approach, infantry tanks and cruiser tanks, they wanted one tank that could do everything, a jack of all trades. It would simplify logistics, it would simplify maintenance, and the A45 was the first attempt at having a stab at it. Unfortunately, it wasn't very good. This is a heavy tank here in World of Tanks, and the hull armour would make an M4 Sherman blush. It really is a mediocre tank. It shared a lot of features with the Centurion. You can see it's got the Mark II Centurion turret there. And that's just about the only really good thing about it. It carries a 17-pounder gun, unlike the Carnarvon, which gets a 20-pounder, and unlike the actual Centurion, which also gets a 20-pounder, but those are both Tier 8, this is Tier 7. 17-pounder has 171mm of penetration with its standard ammunition, which is perfectly adequate, I suppose. And it does have a blisteringly fast rate of fire. It's pretty accurate, and the aim time isn't bad. But it's the alpha damage, which is shockingly mediocre. Any other tank would have killed this guy by now, but no, not the A45. And that's a bit of a problem for this tank because of the terrible, terrible hull armour, 76mm at the front. In order to make use of the relatively good DPM of this 17-pounder gun, you have to keep it firing, otherwise you're just pecking away at the target and not really doing any great amount of damage with every shot. And you're in a tank that has 76mm of hull armour, and a heavy tank at that, so good luck with that. So why is it a heavy? Why didn't they make it a medium? Well, it's not particularly mobile either. It's got a maximum speed of 31 miles per hour, and the power-to-weight ratio is... It's definitely not a medium tank, and they had to put it somewhere. Heavy tank, medium tank. They picked heavy tank because it is very similar to the Carnarvon, and that's pretty much what this tank is. It's kind of like a Tier 7 Carnarvon, and I like the Carnarvon. It's not particularly good, but it's not particularly bad either, and it did get a buff recently with the addition of the Centurion Mark X turret. This tank has the Centurion Mark II turret, and it's not a bad turret. 152mm of frontal turret armour and that traditional bouncy Centurion gun mantlet. Unfortunately, this is a Tier 9 match, so yeah, good luck with that. This is a distinctly mediocre Tier 7 premium tank, and it's getting the worst possible matchmaking. Well, it could have gotten worse matchmaking than this. There could have been more than 5 Tier 9s on each team, but when you get shot at by a Tier 9 tank gun, that 152mm of frontal turret armour suddenly doesn't look very impressive at all. So Friderik pretty much definitely has the odds stacked against him in this particular match here on Malinovka. Because that's kind of the problem with this tank. It's a bit of an XP pinata. It's a big, fat, slow, heavy target that is very, very easy to penetrate and damage. And if you get spotted, particularly in a Tier 9 match when you're driving one of these things, you can guarantee that anybody who's paying any attention to their map... Oh, and he's been spotted. Screw that. No, not funny anymore. Getting out of here. Very, very slowly, but I'm getting out of here. The second you get spotted in this kind of match when you're driving this tank, you just know that anybody who's paying any attention to their map immediately starts turning their guns around and points them at you, regardless of what else they were doing, because you can't fail to penetrate and damage the A45. It's just a big fat bag of experience and credits. So in order to be even slightly effective in this match, he's gonna have to take a leaf out of Monty Python's book and learn how to not be seen, and he has spotted an IS-2. It's something he can actually penetrate, providing he can see him. Well, he's probably still there. And it was actually, you know, watching this particular part of the replay that I thought to myself, hang on a minute, just watch the dispersion of the shots that he fires here. Okay, the IS-2's been tracked and it looked like he started to burn. He may still be there, so he keeps firing. Watch how many shots go absolutely nowhere near where he's aimed them. Look at that. Next one? Nope. How about the next one? Nope. And I thought to myself, hang on a minute, the 17-pounder is an accurate gun. And I thought it was. And it usually is, but not on this tank. 0.39 accuracy. So you've got no armour, you've got a piddly little 17-pounder gun at tier 7, and you struggle to hit the broadside of a barn from the inside with it. What a good tank! Look at this. Okay, that's a slightly broader and fatter target for him to hit, but he's still actually managing to miss with some of the shots he's firing at this thing. A VK4502, tracked, in the open, sideways on. Admittedly, this is where the good rate of fire of this gun pays off. Because you fire, you miss. You fire, you bounce. You fire, you do some damage. You fire, you do some damage. You fire, you bounce. You fire, you do some damage. You're at least doing some damage. Imagine if he had a gun with 0.39 accuracy with a lot of alpha damage and a very, very slow reload. And yes, you probably want... he's probably going to see you, so yeah, get the hell out of there. How frustrating is it when you do have that kind of gun and you've got a target like that sitting in the open, you fire and miss or bounce, and then by the time you've reloaded, too late, he's gone. So the 17-pounder does have, you know, it does have some good points for it. Now this is an unorthodox move. He's firing over the rear of the tank. And somebody's shooting at him. But that was probably blind fire or somebody aiming at somebody on the other side of him because his sixth sense didn't go off. He does have sixth sense on this tank. The gun depression, while not great over the rear of the tank, it does at least seem to be adequate for this. He's starting to get very nervous. Oh, there it is. He's been spotted. Obviously very nervous about where that 4502B and the Tiger who was with him are. But that question is about to be answered very, very soon. Is he still spotted? I guess we're going to find out, because that's a hit from the Tiger, which is bad, but not as bad as the hit from the 4502B, and then it's going to get worse. There's the artillery, yeah, and there's the Tiger again, and as quickly as that, he's down to less than half of his health. The 4502B also knocked his driver out, which is not good news when you're trying to ford water and you've just been spotted, so he used the first aid kit to get his driver back up. Meanwhile, there's the 4502B. It looks like the STA-1 up on the high ground behind him has spotted him. And artillery are obviously going to be very, very anxious to nail that guy because, well, there's nothing but an A45 between... Oh, and there goes the enemy artillery again, because if it's funny once, it's funny every time. Meanwhile, the STA-1 just got his ticket punched by the invisible Tiger, who's out there somewhere, came across the field backing up the 4502B, who has been killed by friendly artillery. Obviously, friendly artillery have a vested interest in nailing him, because he's a slow and easy target to hit, and also because, well, there's nothing but an A45 on less than half health between the 4502B and them. And Friderik's been spotted again. Butt clench time. Keep moving. Enemy artillery have already demonstrated they have a vested interest in making sure you go to the scrapyard, so keep this thing moving as fast as it can, 31 km/h top speed. And he's spotted the Tiger. Calling for fire on the Tiger, the rest of the team entirely happy to oblige. IS-3 sitting at the top of the hill there. Looks like he's about to nose forward. Meanwhile, artillery indicating that they're going to take this Tiger under fire. Tiger's taking hits. He's probably not going to last much longer. Let's try not to get spotted. There he is. He's gone. Good stuff. Right. Take a look at the map. T-54 there has fallen back to the position that was occupied by the STA-1. He's the only thing standing between the enemy team and the artillery down that side of the map. And the only thing standing between the enemy team and the artillery on the other end of the map is that IS-3, and he's still edging forward over the top of the hill. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of health. He spots the Leopard prototype. Unfortunately, he doesn't survive the encounter. The Leopard prototype shoots him in the face and then immediately starts manoeuvring to avoid artillery fire. But a little tank battle's just broken out in the middle of the map, where the enemy T-49 has spotted the location of the T-54. T-54's taken a hit, and he was on full health. T-49 wasn't. Ordinarily, in a fight between a T-54 and a T-49, I'd put my money on the T-54, but it's not just the T-49. Every single gun on the enemy team is opening up on that T-54 at the same time, and Friderik's doing what he can. Luckily, it's a T-49. He can't fail to penetrate him. But the T-54 has taken a fearsome beating. He nails the T-49, spots the T-28 in the middle of the field, and he's got the flank of the T-28. He can actually penetrate him from here. Come on, artillery, wake up. There it is. Good shot. Took his tracks off. 17-pounder, don't fail me now. Killed him. That's earned a bit of breathing space for the T-54, who survived that encounter with the T-49, although he started it on full health, and it wasn't just the T-49, it was every spare gun on the enemy team was firing at him as well. Unfortunately, he now only has 2 health remaining, so his days of adventure and romance are over. He's definitely not feeling very adventurous anymore. Look at that. Full health, down to 2 health, in the space of 30 seconds. So, it's pretty much up to Friderik in the very, very bad A45 Tier 7 lumbering heavy tank with terrible armour to go and flush out that Leopard prototype and the enemy artillery, of which there are 3, and the IS-2, and he's in a great big lumbering heavy. Oh, there's the IS-2. Come on, there's one shot, it's going to take 2, and of course he's been spotted. Do not miss. Oh crap, it bounced. Oh, he's taken a hit, and he's tracked in the open. Use your repair kit. Use your repair kit. Get into cover. Don't let artillery kill you. Oh, 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 that's it, that's it, that's it. And breathe. Yeah, you can unclench your buttocks now, Friderik. Whoa, there it is. Oh, wow, 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 wow. I nearly spoke too soon. Damn, that was close. I'm pretty sure Friderik's buttocks were still clenched there, as he was expecting a 3rd shot from the enemy artillery. There are 3 of them after all, but what had actually happened was the Leopard prototype, after killing the IS-3, had climbed the hill, gone around, and rushed the friendly artillery. Now, they defended themselves and shotgunned him, but the 3rd artillery on the enemy team would have probably been aiming at Friderik at the time, but then when the enemy artillery popped up, shifted his fire towards them, so Friderik got away with it, and it looks like he was too slow to aim to take advantage of the spotting that the enemy Leopard prototype did, and there's the Lorraine 155. First shot, takes his tracks off. Normally, you'd be cursing, but it's a 17-pounder. It's got that monster rate of fire, and this is one of the occasions where having this low alpha damage but high rate of fire gun pays off. He's nailed him. If he'd had that big gun, that traditional heavy tank gun, and he'd fired and done no damage and just blown the guy's tracks off, he would have stealthed up and gotten away before he'd been able to reload and fire again. 1 down, 2 to go. And that T-54 on 2 health is being very, very brave up there. But then again, it doesn't really matter. You can run into the artillery and die, but as long as you spot them, you can still win because you've got 3 artillery backing you up. Too often you see medium tanks. There we go, he spotted one of them. And Friderik's in a perfect position to get some shots in. What is he even shooting at? Did you see that? He's just like, oh, screw it, I'm going to die. Pull the trigger anyway. Well, not aiming at anything. Doesn't matter, just pull the trigger anyway. And there's the final artillery. Another Centurion variant, the FV207. And Friderik nails him for his 6th kill and his Top Gun. Not bad at all for a very, very bad Tier 7 premium heavy tank in a Tier 9 battle on Malinovka. I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I hope you enjoyed today's other 2 videos. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.